Welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out. www.thebestdampodcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to hit that like, give us a thumbs up, share this link, get it out there, spread it far and wide, and just leave a comment. Let me know what you think, if you find it interesting, or, even if you don't, I'd like to hear what you think about it. And don't forget to subscribe, click that bell, that way you guys can get all of the notifications. Keep in mind, we're viewer powered. If you'd like to donate and support to the channel, you can do so with the links below in the description box: PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. Big ups to everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. Today's a little bit earlier than usual, but I actually have a really good one, man. We're going to be talking about lots of interesting things, especially, pertaining to the Nemesis system, twin suns. What would, a binary concept actually mean for all of us? And I always like to look at things on a metaphysical and a spiritual level, not just focusing solely on the scientific or the historical or theological. It's nice to kind of mix it up and see something from, multiple angles, because I believe true ascension and awakening, just understanding, comes from truly embracing and trying to take apart the construct and see it from like a multi-dimensional, multiverse kind of aspect of things. So it's really exciting to say that consciously people are coming into a space to where they're actually able to do, just that. I remember just a few short years ago, a lot of the concepts we were talking about, it was just like, it was like a foreign language to most people, and now it's becoming more and more common knowledge for people to really be able to understand the more spiritual aspects of everything. It's kind of like with, quantum computing and all of this, it's opened up this world through technology mainly, but a lot of knowledge and advancement that way. But it's opened up this world for people to see things from a quantum perspective and understand the spiritual connection and how everything in the physical world is made manifest from consciousness, from spirit. So it's a really exciting time for us to be alive. Let me see what we have here in the chat, or if I can see the chat. Looks like we have Stool Purger, Cleric Knight, Oz, Ezekiel, Up Yours 73. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody for joining me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. I am, at a different space, so I'm over at my girlfriend's in Cincinnati today, so hopefully the connection's good. Hopefully you guys can hear me good and all that stuff. So just let me know in the chat if you guys can. That would be amazing. And after today's video, thank you so much. Yeah. And welcome, Carrie. After today's video, I am going to do a all signs collective tarot reading. If anybody's interested, I'll be doing it on video and stuff like that. So, I feel like it's really important. I'm switching things, like I've been telling people, which I've disabled the comments too on all the videos. Just here recently, we've been getting a lot of fucking negativity. It's like, I'm trying to shift my whole perspective towards something positive and to really grow and expand and, make better use of my time than, reading shit from trolls or trolling other people, So I have disabled the comments, but if you guys are interested, I will be doing a tarot video after this. The channel is going to be switching more focus to that. I'm going to be just doing more astrology, more tarot, and I'll still do, live videos, but I'm going to try to focus everything more on, the alchemy and the metaphysics of things, just because, quite frankly, subject matter that we try to talk about is so censored now, it's almost pointless, to even try to get it out there. And it draws so much negativity when we talk about the negative things. So it's like to the point where you got to shut down the comments, like that's fucking crazy. So fuck it. Yeah, fuck them, says Stool Percher. Yeah, and I'm with you. I don't worry about none of it, man. I do what I love, and my passion is in tarot and astrology, and that's where I'm going to start pushing things, So I encourage everybody, to do what makes you happy, to pursue your dreams, to be with people you love, to express your love and creativity in every possible avenue that you have, You got so many tools at your disposal as a human being. We're badass. We were handcrafted to be little mini co-creators. It's like why we don't take advantage of that and why we don't truly utilize all of our gifts to just consistently express, the beauty that we are. I have no idea. The world has been dumbed down and desensitized to the point, it's almost mind-boggling. It's like, is this a result of the agendas, that we're not allowed to talk about on public platforms anymore? The things that poke people and shit like that? Like, is it because of all of that? Is that what's changed the landscape of humanity and consciousness? Is that what has really, pulled people more into acting like machines? This kind of automated lifestyle? Or, was it all of, the brainwashing, the genetically modified foods and, all of these things, especially through the media manipulation, mass mind control, essentially. Is that what has kind of made us automated in the way that we behave and really laxed the things that are acceptable to us on a moral standpoint, an ethical standpoint, or is it a combination of all of the above? We've just been, it seems like most of the population has succumbed to, this, it's almost like they're cyborgs without being cyborgs. They're robots without being robots, right? Their life is on autopilot. And it's like their priorities have nothing to do with, expressing the spirit and the soul. And I see that there's because of that being suppressed too, I feel like there's a large population of people or a generation of people now that are rising up as a natural reaction, right? Every action has a reaction. As a natural reaction to the suppression and oppression of humanity consciously and spiritually, as we shift into this Aquarian age and this new understanding, new consciousness, all the people that survived that C-19 agenda and didn't get the pineal taken out of themselves, right, are now kind of rising up and making what was odd, what was strange, what was spiritual, bullshit basically a decade ago. It's now the norm, right? And it's now people that are truly enlightened and truly aware, they have that understanding. And if you look around, most successful people, I don't care what field, you go into, whether it's musicians, artists, anything, right? Politicians, they understand these very same truths. They understand these very same spiritual principles and know how to utilize them in their lives, and that's how they've gotten to the places they've gotten to. That's how they've reached all the people they've reached. So it's really cool to see this shift in dynamic from the few, right, who control the whole structural hierarchical system, to the many. Right? To now the people that's been on the bottom of the pyramid have the knowledge as well and the know-how and are willing and they're hungrier for the knowledge. They're hungrier for a change, right? And I think it really forces the people on top to really change the way that they perceive the entirety of the system as well, right? Because they don't want to lose that spot. They don't want to lose the top. They don't want to lose control. Those who control the money, the oil, and all of those things. They don't want to lose it, and they see the pressure coming. So it's at this boiling point of ideas, of social classes, of all of this, right? And you see it represented in, politically especially, right? You look at what's going on right now with Biden and Trump and all of that. It's being represented on a global scale as well, geopolitically. China, the United States, Russia, all these people putting money into different fuel and rubles and yen and Bitcoin and, this whole shifting and changing and evolving of the system and moving from the petrodollar to something digital, moving from the west over to something to the east. It's like all of this shit now. It's showing you the turbulence of these ideas, and it's showing you the turbulence of awareness as it kind of meets. This is like that war in heaven. You remember, the kingdom of heaven is within, so the war is taking place within each and every one of us. Can we shift and can we adapt instead of be reactive to the new cycle, the new energy that is here, the new awareness, the new conscious expression that's available for all of us? And it's a lot for a lot of people because, and that's why you're getting this new normal and all of this. It's like this suggestive, neuro-linguistic programming, basically, easing people into what's taking place. And it's really, we know on one level, technologically, it's a singularity that's happening through artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computation, neural networks, right? All of this shit is part of that side of it. But there's a natural expression of that taking place too. And this is where the two are really butting heads. People that are what I would call humanist, who embrace enlightenment and are trying to bring everything back to the earth, that are trying to, get rid of all of the illusion, the dreams, the deception, and bring true light and love to the planet and really bring, unity to the planet. And then those who are just seeking to cling to any bit of control that they have left, and they're doing it by any means necessary. They're using technology to implement this by dumbing the people down, by killing the people off, right? By doing poisoning the water, poisoning the air, controlling the weather, right? Controlling the markets, the economy, the supplies, the fuel, and that's scorched earth. That's the tactic that they're actually using, and it's against the global population. It's against the masses, man. Finally caught a live show again. Well, it's nice to see you, Janine. I'm really glad that you caught a live show. Nice to see you, Sally Starchild. Carrie up your 73. Thank you guys. I really appreciate everybody for joining me, man. And sounds like, or looks like, we're coming in loud and clear here. Like I said, I'm at a different place. I'm over at my girls in Cincinnati, so I don't know how good her internet is or any of that. So I'm hoping that it goes well. It is early in the day. I don't usually do them this early, but I said, fuck it. We got a lot of stuff that we can really talk about and a lot of stuff that I can share with you guys. And we're going to start here. Twin sons. Our son may have started his life with a binary companion. Now, many people already believe this, right? This is where Nemesis, Nibiru, Planet X, Planet 9, this is where Herculobos, this is where all of that comes from. The Kachinas, the whole shebang, right? People believe that, and I don't think it's too far-fetched. If we're looking at things from a conscious standpoint, if we're looking at things from the dualistic reality which we find ourselves in, the old carnal magnetic loop or orbit that we were once on was one of duality. It was one of black and white. It was one of good and evil, left and right, up and down, right? It was paradoxical. So to think or fathom that there is a dark sun, right, when you are even binary code, your brain is fight or flight. You're down to binary code. To think that our sun, our star, our lifeblood, the opening, to me, the sun is not really a ball, but an opening to a higher dimensional realm or a higher dimensional plane. I've told you guys in my theory, the matrix is like a system, or matrices is like a lattice system where there are holes where those constellations are. And if it's shining light outward to us, it's probably dark on the other side, like a black hole on the other side, because of polarity and the way that magnetics work. So black holes to us would be stars on the other side, essentially, right? These are, connection points, within these dimensions. In each dimension, it changes light to dark, light to dark, light to dark, right? And we would see the sun almost as a projector of the higher dimensional energy down into this dimension of matter, of darkness, of sound, of negativity, right? So it only makes sense essentially to have some type of dark or neutron negative star to balance out our system as well, right? And act as kind of like a vacuum, a cosmic vacuum, almost like a black hole, being so strongly charged magnetically that it doesn't allow light to escape, right? A dark sun. And if you look at all of the different cultures throughout time, the different ancient civilizations, think about it. Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl, right? The two brothers. Okay, Blue Kachina, Red Kachina, the Hopi. I mean, Enki and Enlil, right? And a lot of these stories are about Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn, or our sun and a dark sun, or a comet sun, right? Is it perhaps a lot of people believe that this dark comet could be Venus? A lot of people believe that this, destruction that happened on Mars is a result of this. The asteroid belt is a result of this. We've actually laid it out, and I don't have my external hard drive plugged in, or I'd show you, but biblically, every couple hundred years or so, biblically in the timeline, we see this cyclical destruction that takes place. So, I mean, no matter how you look at it, something's happened. Even the fact that it's called Theia, well, there's giant pieces of a molten planet that crashed into the Earth long ago named Theia, right? So these are all different cosmic stories talking about that. We look at Tiamat, all of it. It all says the same thing and points to something, being out there that causes chaos and destruction, whether it's a protoplanet, a comet, a star, or just a binary twin, right? New theory published recently in the Astrophysical Journal, letters by scientists from Harvard University, suggest that the sun may once have had a binary companion of similar mass. If confirmed, the presence of an early stellar companion increases the likelihood that the Oort cloud was formed as observed and the planet Nine was captured rather than formed within the solar system. And I've talked about this, guys, trans-Neptunian objects and the Oort cloud, and that could be like the line of wake from recurring micronovas as this dark sun comes in, depositing material, because it is like a vacuum, and that would be why it has the wings that come off the side, or Trojan asteroids like Jupiter has. Remember, Nibiru in ancient Babylonian is Jupiter. I do believe Jupiter's got more of a chance of being that twin or companion than anything. There's even many theories that suggest that every 12,500 years Jupiter actually ascends the Earth. Or we can look at Saturn as another possibility for that. If you look at all the planets as stars, then it's got a bunch of companions, doesn't it? A bunch of them. So, who knows? But there could be something completely, totally black, like a black hole traveling. We don't see under the ecliptic, right? Only seen in the infrared light spectrum. That is called the Dragon. That's not included in our solar system of the 7 or the 9, because outside of the range of Saturn, or the Saturn moon matrix, we do have, Neptune and Uranus, or many people say. But when you look at work from people like Dave Dobbs, he showed that there's a great possibility that that Neptune and Uranus could even possibly be made up, right? These planets could be made up, or they could be added on to the Saturn system as we get closer to moving towards a Planet X, or a red and a blue Kachina, and there's just many interesting theories surrounding that. A lot of people believe in Saturn and Jupiter, whatever you believe, there's something that does seem to have a negative polarity that is out there, creating some type of changes and influences on our planet and the entire solar system, because all of the planets are having these magnetic reversals. They're all having these chaotic changes that are happening within them, including our sun right now. The sun is reacting in a really wild way with all the maximum activity and the different dark energy blasts that are coming off of it. And we talk about how that actually affects us spiritually, right? in our auric field, positive and negative energy, and how that opens us up to witchcraft and hexes and all of these things. And then you look at the fucking propaganda, the semantics and the priming and the neuro-linguistic programming and the trauma-based mind control that's being ran on the masses right now. It's like, damn, this is beautiful energy to brainwash the public, you know. But it says, it was confirmed in the presence of an early stellar companion increases the likelihood that the Oort cloud was formed and observed, and that the planet 9 was captured rather than formed within the solar system. Dr. Avi Loeb, Frank B. Baird, Jr. Professor of Science at Harvard, and Amir Siraj, a Harvard undergraduate student, have postulated that the existence of a long-lost stellar binary companion in the Sun's birth cluster, the collection of stars that form together with the Sun from the same dense cloud of molecular gas, could explain the formation of the Oort cloud as we observe it today. Popular theory associates the formation of the Oort cloud with debris left over from the formation of the solar system and its neighbors, where objects were scattered by the planet to great distances and some were exchanged amongst stars. But a binary model could be the missing piece in the puzzle, and according to Siraj, it shouldn't come as a surprise to scientists. Quote, previous models have had difficulty producing the expected ratio between scattered disks, objects, and outer Oort cloud objects. The binary capture model offers significant improvements and refinement, which is seemingly obvious in retrospect. Most Sun-like stars are born with binary companions. If the Oort cloud was indeed captured with the help of an early stellar companion, the implications for our understanding of the solar system formation would be significant. Binary systems are far more efficient at capturing objects than are single stars. If the Oort cloud formed as observed, it would imply that the Sun did in fact have a companion of similar mass that was lost before the Sun left its birth cluster. And he goes on to say that understanding the origins is actually important. But you know what? Who's to say that the Sun wasn't? And here's the thing. The Sun wouldn't need a binary companion if in fact it is just an opening in a higher dimension that allows that pure light frequency to pour in like a projector into our electromagnetic, plasmatic reality, right? There wouldn't even need to be something like that. You know what would actually be akin to the binary companion or the dark star? The Earth. The Earth would be that black mirror that acted as a projector or a screen for that projector, if you get me, or, even quite possibly something, the moon being akin to some type of parabolic dish that filters in said awareness and light and energy and shines it on the Earth, but, kind of like a something for the light to bounce off of to hit that black mirror and project down in. And we have a firmament as well to filter that light in, like a prism, like giving a prism effect. And we know that, the rainbow is made up of the 7 colors, which are the 7 rays, the 7 planets, and that archonic governor energy that we have coming in. So I'm just saying, if you look at the first story of Adam and Eve, it talks about Earth being way bigger, made of water, and getting rocked, basically, right, by the serpent or Satan. If we look at the serpent or, possibly as Saturn, maybe at one point, the Earth was indeed a satellite or a moon of Saturn. We know that Venus at one point was allegedly a moon of Jupiter. I mean, so is it hard to say, especially according to a lot of Eastern beliefs, that in fact, when these final conflagrations, which are these alignments where all our planets return to their original place, there isn't some movement and some shaking and some, shit going on, especially looking at the asteroid belt, especially looking at the Oort cloud, trans-Neptunian objects and all that. If there wasn't to say that, there's a possibility we've had different stars, different planets as our sun. Earth could have possibly been born out of Saturn, that dragon. Right? Anytime we look at Saturn, it is synonymous with the dragon, and the dragon being the planet X, or, and that being iron, too, representative of iron, and it's got what? Fucking quite a bit of moons. I want to say over 100, maybe 200 moons. Jupiter's got like 100, 150 moons or something like that too, 80 to 120 moons. So you've got these systems. And I've seen different models too. Let me see if I can pull it up. I've showed this image before. It was on my Facebook, which I'm locked out of my main page right now. So that showed the sun, Jupiter, and Saturn as like a trinary solar system, like 3-star system, and it showed how each of the planets kind of orbit around those stars, them with all their moons, and then, you know, the inner solar system around the sun. So very interesting stuff. Hey Lynn, nice to see you. Glow Bear, nice to see you. I appreciate you guys, man, for real, for real. It says that the model has implications of the hypothesized planet 9, with Loeb and Siraj believe it isn't alone out there. The puzzle is not only regarding the Oort cloud, but also extreme trans-Neptunian objects like the potential planet 9. It's unclear where they come from. Our new model predicts that there should be more objects with similar orbital orientation to planet 9. And those Eastern religions believe that each planet that's created is a result of a collision with the Earth, right? That's something colliding with the Earth. And if you look at the story of Tiamat, right, being hit by Nibiru, you know, breaking it into pieces and all of that, and the Earth having this firmament, many believing it's even flat. You know, is the Earth a piece of this Tiamat? And is the asteroid belt the pieces of Tiamat? And does Nibiru come by and crash this thing, or its moon crash into it? You know, and every 300-400 years it passes closer, and every, 6,000, 12,000, or a great year, a great cycle, 25,000 years, it actually hits the Earth. You know, like, there's many different schools of thought that point to something taking place. Even the Bible has wormwood, right? A great star. A star is a planet. A planet and a star, to me, are synonymous. They're one and the same. You know, even though science, mainstream science, doesn't see it that way, and they see me as nothing but pseudoscience, but that is a charged word right there. Pseudoscience, they ascribe a negative connotation to it. That way anything you hear from someone like me will be dismissed as, you know, just bullshit. That's why metaphysics, astrology, all of that is looked at as pseudoscience. And sound effects matter. Yeah, okay, hold on. Sound can form light, and we can form sound, and sound effects matter, and spirit effects matter. Absolutely, Glow Bear. I agree 1,000%. I believe that sound does form light, light and sound are synonymous with each other, and we have the ability to affect either, right? Because they're all affected by frequency or vibration, right? It says passing stars in the birth cluster would have been removed, the companion from the sun, through their gravitational influence. Before the loss of the binary, however, the solar system already would have captured its outer envelope of objects, namely the Oort cloud and the planet 9 population. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to leave that one to you guys, what you actually think of that, you know. But speaking of planet 9, right, a lot of people believe that Nibiru, in fact, you know, is dealing with the Anunnaki, right? That it's the home of the gods, right? This alien species that gave birth to humanity. So it's really strange. And I told you guys, astrologically, we're seeing a lot of the same astrological alignments, or just seeing a lot of the same astrological alignments as we did back in Roswell, right? When all that took place. And now you see what's being released almost, you know, weekly now at the same time, right? And, you know, all of this coming in with all these different diseases and shit, you know, C-19 and monkey and all of that stuff, man. You know, these things are all cyclical astrological events. You go back to 1920 in the early 1900s with Tunguska, the Northern Torrids, the Great Conjunctions, the last 400 and 800 years, and then the Spanish flu and all of that. And then you look at what's going on now, and then you look at even shortly, right, with 1937 and Area 51 and all of that, and it's all coming back again. And these are paradigm-shattering things that are taking place. So it's like they're breaking the reality once again, right, with bringing forward, all of these scares of different diseases and shit, and scares of extraterrestrials, and telling you that the stars aren't what you thought before, and the sun is having this high activity too. It always correlates to these same things. Nothing new under the sun, including astrologically, it's a perfect time for war. Right? For war. And we're seeing similar alignments like we had in WW2. So, I mean, you take it how you will. Navy says all UFO videos will remain classified because releasing them would harm national security. The U.S. Navy says that releasing any additional UFO videos would, quote, harm national security. Say what? And told a government transparency website that all the government's UFO videos are classified information. In a Freedom of Information Act request response, the Navy told transparency site The Black Vault that any public dissemination of new UFO videos, quote, will harm national security as it may provide adversaries valuable information regarding Department of Defense, Navy operation vulnerabilities and or capabilities. No portion of the videos can be segregated for release. The Black Vault was seeking all videos with the designation of unidentified aerial phenomena. And the Black Vault is one badass site, guys. I love the Black Vault. I've shown you a million documents from that, so they're the best in the game when it comes at using the Freedom of Information Act to get all the cool stuff. It's an interesting response from the Navy because often military agencies will issue a so-called GLOMAR response that they neither confirm nor deny that the records, in this case videos, exist, and refuse to say anything more. In this response, the Navy's admitting that it has more videos and also gives a rationale for releasing 3 previous UFO videos. And it continued, those events were discussed extensively in the public domain. In fact, major news outlets conducted specials on these events. Given the amount of information in the public domain regarding these encounters, it was possible to release the files without further damages to national security. It's true that the 3 videos, which were leaked from Blink-182 singer Tom DeLonge and the New York Times, didn't originally come out via official means. Yeah, you had the Blink-182 singer release it. Give me a fucking break. That makes it so credible, does it not? But in recent years, the Pentagon has regularly talked about UFOs, and earlier this year it showed additional clips from UFOs to Congress. The military has seemingly wanted to tell the public and Congress that UFOs are very much real and a threat, and that it needs more funding, and that it needs more funding, and it needs more funding. That they're a threat, and it needs more funding. That UFOs are very much a real threat, and it needs more funding to determine what they are and perhaps protect us against them. But it continues to hold the videos close to the vest. How about that? And let's actually take a look here. I think this is the response. Yeah, this is the response from the Navy pertaining to the Freedom of Information Act. There you go. Yeah. Damage to national security. You have the right to an appeal. So there you go. There's a letter right there for everybody to see. A very crazy shit, man. Very crazy shit. I've got even more though, so don't go nowhere. I've got some real good stuff tonight. Where's it at here? Right here. Let's jump here next. 3 greatest celestial events of the century will happen almost consecutively. You better be alive by then. So here you go. Let's go ahead and see if you guys have sound. I'll go ahead and play a clip of the video at least. I think I only play like 20 seconds, but I'll give you the 3 events first, okay? It's all just the present now. Yeah, it is. We're in an interesting time right now. That's all I can say. Things are really getting wonky. astrologically, celestially, climate-wise, geopolitically. I mean, we are shifting realities. I don't know if people notice that or not, but I notice that. Like, I notice, like, I'm aware of the reality totally shifting. Like, consciously, I am shifting into a new reality. It's like the old world, the old way of thinking, the old, and then pretty soon, even the history of what we knew will no longer exist. You know, I feel like, what is that one alien movie, guys? It's like got a Clover, I don't know if it's Cloverfield or something like that, where there's a giant meteor or asteroid that comes by, and it's like all these friends, and they're at the house drinking and shit, and basically, as it passes, this large comet passes, time stands still, you know, in the world. It's like it has the ionization of this thing, the magnetic field of this thing affects the world in such a fucking way that these people go into alternate realities and alternate dimensions because the earth is standing still and highly affected by this. And we know that, you know, electromagnetic fields can cause hallucinations anyways, right? So, you know, it's a really wild movie, and it kind of makes you wonder, you know, if something like that would take place in real life. And then there's another movie called Melancholia that, you know, shows a large planet passing and how it pulls on the atmosphere as it goes by, taking away the oxygen. People start acting weird, taking their lives before it comes. Just crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. You know, and we know that we just had recently Don't Look Up as well, so let's take a look. In 2027, we will have the second longest solar eclipse in history. And this follows the 2024, which is a 7-year mark. So remember that. It will be 6 minutes, the longest one being 7 minutes. In 2029, we will have asteroid Apophis pass us by. Remember, 99942, guys. And that Apophis passed March 21st, 2021, which was 1,260 days later from the great sign in heaven, that once and forever celestial event that happened, right, September 23rd, 2017, right? And then in 2031, we'll experience a twice-in-a-lifetime Leonid's meteor storm. Up to 100,000 meteors will rain down the heavens per hour. So, right, that's pretty intense. And then a bonus in 2031, the largest comet discovered, Comet Bernardini-Berenstein, will have its closest approach to Earth. It will, however, not be visible. So let's go ahead and play this clip.
Ten astronomical events that will happen in your lifetime.
I'm going to kill the sound, actually, so I don't get a copyright strike on this bitch, but
1986 saw several spacecraft approach its
facility. Yeah, see, and a lot of people believe, let's go ahead and skip out of this and go to the next one, but a lot of people believe that, you know, when that happened, that was like this big indicator or, you know, big sign to all the world elites that, you know, this shit was about to pop off and that the Earth was really about to start making changes. A lot of people started building bunkers and shit back in like 90s, you know, the early 90s, mid 90s. And even before that, we know that way back since, you know, World War I and II, people have been preparing for something. Shit, there's images of, you know, the dark star in the sky, you know, when Hitler was making moves. I mean, you know, this thing passes and gets close and in close proximity to the Earth every so often. So, I mean, it never passes at the same length or the same distance. And if you look at all of the biblical timelines, right, from Exodus, the Joshua's long day, right, all of these different things where there was a tilting of the Earth or a stopping of the rotation of the Earth, that, you know, every time it was different, though. The damage was different. The proximity of the object was different. And right now we're seeing lots and lots and lots of indicators that it is close and close approach, not just because of, you know, the entire deal with the South Atlantic anomaly where we have this negative polarity that's pushing on the magnetic field, literally splitting North and South Pole into two, you know, repelling us towards Siberia, seeing, you know, a difference above Canada too. This major weakness in the magnetic field. It says here, terrifying video shows thousands of dead cattle in Rajasthan, and 57,000 cows have already died so far from lumpy skin disease outbreak in India. Officials ask states to boost the blank process. Okay, so over 57,000, right? You know, I'm just going to play a quick clip, see what we can see here. This is a cattle graveyard, basically, they're saying. Kill that music, too. 57,000 of them due to lumpy skin disease. I mean, say what? And you see the bones here, right? And this is being revealed due to government data. So, and this is per estimates, right? And you see, it's a lot, dude. And we know that there's been so many fucking scares with different things, or like there appears to be, you know, and the government launches that agenda as a result. So you tell me, right? Number one, you kill a bunch of livestock and food supply. And then number two, as a result of it, you say, hey, this happened, and now you guys all need to line up and, you know, get tagged, basically. We have the increasing chance of flares. NOAA's forecasters have boosted the odds of an M-class solar flare by 30%. Also, we're not even going to talk about that. We did have 26 fireballs today. You guys can see here. Quite a bit of them actually came from under the ecliptic and up and over, basically. And then we had 2,293 PHAs today. None of them really worth writing home about, except we did see RU2, which is 14 meters in diameter, and it was 3 lunar distances, so yeah. Moving forward. Thank you. We do have a large celestial body that will be passing too. So let's take a look here. It says that this one will come terrifyingly close, right? NASA's issuing an alert. Huge asteroid heading towards the Earth will come terrifyingly close to the planet in the coming days. Will it crash on Earth, burn up in the atmosphere, or fly by after buzzing the planet at terrifyingly close quarters? We'll take a look here. I doubt it will, but a huge asteroid heading towards the Earth will come terrifyingly close to the planet in the coming days. Will it crash on the Earth and burn up in the atmosphere, or fly back into endless space after buzzing the planet in close quarters? Asteroids, or NEOs, let's see how big it is. It says that this one is found orbiting the Sun in the main asteroid belt near Jupiter. We were just talking about that. NASA defines the NEO as an object whose orbit brings it within the zone of approximately 195 million kilometers, and meaning it can pass within about 50 million kilometers of the Earth's orbit. This one is asteroid 2020 PT4, and it's supposed to come pretty fucking close, and we'll actually see it tomorrow. Asteroid 2020 PT4 is part of the Apollo group, and we all know that the Apollo is basically, right, that's a Apollyon group, right? That's a destroyer group of asteroids. According to thesky.org, this asteroid takes almost 734 days to complete one orbit and of the Sun, during which it is at its furthest distance of the Sun at 355 million kilometers and its nearest distance of 122 million kilometers. Asteroid 2020 PT4 is heading for the Earth on September 15th at a blistering speed of 39,024 kilometers per hour, according to NASA. It'll make its closest approach to the planet at a distance of nearly 7.1 million kilometers. And although 2020 PT4 is not expected to impact the Earth, it's still been classified as a PHO due to the proximity that it will pass. And you guys can see here, this is the orbital diagram. Right, the orbital diagram. Let me see if I can make it big here. Which, you know, I wouldn't sweat this one at all. Slight deviation in its path, though, due to interaction with the planet's gravitational field, could change its trajectory and send it hurtling towards the Earth. So, they just want to let you know that just a slight change in the field could fuck your whole day up. You know, they're just keeping it real with you. No humans have felt Aquarian energy before. This is the first time for this age. The crossing, One in the third dimension and one in the fourth. I believe so too, Narrow Gate. I think that there is, like, when they talk about transitional planet or the crossing, I believe that those who are consciously on the old karmic magnetic groove or orbit, however we would call it, right? Those who are stuck in that frequency are connected to that reality loop will stay with it, and there'll be like this slow separation of consciousness of those who shift into a higher realm or a higher awareness, which will essentially like expand their consciousness, expand their aura to the point that their orbit or their trajectory is outward. It'll be a separate reality. Eventually we won't see them, they won't see us. Some people will be stuck in a low state of frequency as others ascend into a higher, and it'll be like two worlds that have broken or fragmented and no longer mirror each other. You know what I mean? They begin to create their own mirrors. And this would bring in their catastrophism too, right? That whole Thor's hammer as he smashes things into pieces, right? The fragments, the fractals, and we know like through Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio that there's a great possibility that this is actually it. Astronomers do find a shocking culprit that shaped the Earth's continents. Earth, the only planet known to possess continents. In a new study published August 23rd in Journal Geology, researchers suggested unexpected seeds for the formation of the first continents in the world. Comets, launched out of the solar system, passed through the spiral arms of the Milky Way. So, what do you know? They're blaming comets. Well, I've talked about this before. If you look at the magnetic poles on the north and the south poles, that those are like light sockets that allows the electrical energy to flow through, right through the planet, like an arc of electricity from north to south. Well, as it does that and the magnetic field weakens, it allows cosmic rays and basically cosmic information, positive and negative ions, to charge through the fluxed field, right? And as it does that and flows through it, that's why you get the widening of the tropical zone and the bulge around the equator, because the Earth is literally getting fatter as it's taking on those cosmic particles, right, through the poles as we go through reversal, which causes continental drift or the expansion of, the continents. So, do I believe it's comets? I believe, yeah, as they pass, they drop off a bunch of shit that makes the Earth get fatter. I do believe comets because of their ionized tail and the way that they're polarized in different things and they're made up of different gases do affect the magnetic field, and impact of them as well could cause different shifts and changes. But ultimately, I believe it's magnetic reversal that causes all of this, and where Pangea, spread outwardly is because of that too. The Earth is constantly growing. It says here quantum computing will be bigger than the discovery of fire. You know what? When you look at it, quantum computing is modern man or future man or like Aquarian man's fire. It really is that divine spark. We're just now harnessing that fire or divine spark, that gift that for mankind through quantum computation, right? We're really tapping into like the metaphysical side of things and able to finally harness the fire that we were given by the gods so long ago, if you truly think about it, right? Because that fire was that smokeless flame, right? It was that divine spark, the burning bush, okay? And that's what exists within all of it, prana, right? I don't care what fucking religion you look at it, it's all the same, right? Spirit, Holy Spirit, right? Baptizing by fire, right? The same thing. So that's what, gives us the Atma or Anima. 5D Earth exists now. We are not going anywhere per se. We are changing vibration. Solar flash from our sun will be the grand moment. I would probably agree with that. I do believe that, whatever the protoplanet or comet or whatever is passing that we see at the end of all these cosmic cycles, or as a result of the final conflagration in the celestial alignment, whether it's Jupiter ascending or what, that it drags in all that dark matter right? And if it's Jupiter, it's the Trojan asteroids blowing off the side. If it's Nemesis, then it's, the iron oxide or iron ore dust blowing off the side. It's neither here nor there. It's still dragging something. And I talked about the process of as it goes around the sun and deposits from the sun. And notice they talk about all the comets and asteroids that come from behind the sun or up under the ecliptic because it's scooping up from underneath, right? That it deposits stuff, and that's what causes the changes in colors in the sun. These are also, been, in the ancient Eastern religions believe a lot of this too. Maybe they don't describe it the same way I do and put it all together, but they have different variations of it, right? In these catastrophic cycles, and the sun goes from that golden yellow, right, and then turns to a white as it begins to take on all that new elements, new materials, to a blue. As it begins to heat those new materials up and cook them outwardly. And then finally, like a red, we get the red color. As the hydrogen's being smothered out, the helium begins to burn, and then black. The sun turns black as sackcloth made of goat hair, and that's what the Bible says, and the moon becomes blood red. Well, it could be a direct result of that. The infrared light is all that's shining through, right? And it's covered black because it's got that hard outer shell of all of the things that's kind of cooked up to the top of it, from them being deposited by a binary companion, and then finally it blows that shell off, and that's what you call a recurring micronova, sending all the elements back out into the solar system, and that wave could ride all the way out to the Oort cloud, and that be like kind of the wake, the cosmic wake of that, flash or flare. Or it could be, the asteroid belt too. But, a lot of people tend to believe that the asteroid belt is a result of, what destroyed Tiamat, whether it's Nemesis, Nibiru, or whatever. But it says here, though, that the quantum computing, the most underrated and most transformational technological breakthrough since the internet. It's because it is. And it's not since the internet. This is since the telegraph, right? They've been planning this for forever. Electricity. You couldn't have one of these without the other. NASA slam a spacecraft into an asteroid. This tiny witness will show us what happens. Understanding the effects of the impact in detail is crucial for designing an effective planetary defense system. This is DART, right? They're getting ready to do this now. I showed you guys the images of Didymus and Dimorphos the other day. NASA's DART spacecraft smashes into the asteroid Dimorphos on September 26th. It'll have a silent witness, an Italian CubeSat called Licia, Licia cube, which will watch the groundbreaking experiment in real time. Really strange. Licia. I would love to know what Licia means. Let's see if it's got the etymology of the word in like Hebrew or Greek. Anybody ever heard of the word Lycia or Lycea, whatever, That would be interesting. Let's see. Spanish short form of, it means happy. It means happy. In a short form of the name Felicia. It also means woman of Lycia or lucky. I knew it. See, that's what I thought. When I seen the Lycia, I thought of Lucia, right? Or Lucifer, right? Lucky. And it's Lycia, which means lucky. Wow, how about that? And successful. And very interesting. Very interesting. Happy. Lucky. So, there you have it. Would that be Luke to Lucidonia? I don't know. I didn't check the etymology of that, but I think you probably aren't far off if you're connected to that. What does Lucidonia mean? Is that lucky, luck something? Russian aircraft detected in North American Air Defense Identification Zone. This one is just kind of a little bit disturbing to me, dude. It's detected in North America's Air Defense ID Zone. The aircraft didn't enter the American sovereign airspace, so that's about the only good part of that, and that happened on 9/11. Go fucking figure. The two Russian maritime patrol aircraft were detected and tracked off the coast of Alaska and Canada on Sunday, September 11th, 9/11. Remember, Alaska is where they keep HAARP, right? Where they're fucking geoengineering and frying your bitch ass with fucking, radio waves and radiation. Also, we have the National Guard heading to Florida prisons to help understaffed Department of Corrections. If this don't fucking raise the hairs on your ass, then I don't know what will. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, and I've been saying this shit since it all started. I told you guys, when they rolled out the National Guard, it was part of Posse Comitatus, right? They can use them, and it's not against the Constitution, right? And that's why they created Space Force. That's why they use the Coast Guard for the fucking oil spill off the coast of California. That's why they chose to use what they use. And also, in the event of a collapse in the United States, the National Guard can be converted to UN peacekeepers. Okay, it's part of the United States. It's part of the UN disarmament treaty. So they can take every gun in America. They can shut your ass the fuck down, every militia, through the National Guard, right? Through the UN. And we know that everything's being ran by the UN and the World Health Organization and, World Economic Forum and everything that, is basically part of the hidden hand right now. And the fact that the Guard's now going to prisons, Department of Corrections is prisons. So they're already driving the school buses, they're already the nurses, the doctors, the teachers, and everything else, right? Do you not see what's happening? This is state-run everything, not state-run, federal ran everything. And this is why they did the tax breaks, right? Where they giving the money to the fucking Lakers and shit and everybody else lost their businesses, right? We talked about this with the National Defense Authorization Act, how they were federalizing the entirety of the world. And this is why they wanted to do all the shit with the police in, what did they call the zone in Seattle, Washington? They had a good autonomous zone or some shit like that, right? All of this was part of the agenda too. So watch your fucking ass, man. Like when it comes to this, like they're not fucking around. COVID was no doubts. It was a way to bring about soft medical martial law, and it was a way to circumvent. And I don't even want to talk about. They'll give me a strike for talking about it, but it is what it is, man. What's up, Charlie? The sun will eventually get so hot it will be like a laser and burn everything during the day. We will be vampires at the point it's just coming out at night. That sounds crazy to somebody that probably never heard anything like this, but UV is already like fucking 5 to 15 times higher than normal ultraviolet radiation on any given day. So, they're going to tell you it's because of your carbon footprint and because of your car. But it's not true. It's because the magnetic field is incredibly weak right now, And the sun is in a maximum. That's why. See if I can drop this here. Should we be searching for smart aliens or dumb aliens? There are two ways to look for extraterrestrial life. We've been focusing only on one. It says that the search for ET life is one of astronomy's grandest projects, but the search is more multifaceted than anyone casually intrigued by aliens might realize. At its core lies the question of what version of life we are seeking. Earth, presumably beyond, life exists on a spectrum of forms and capacities, but for the purposes of tracking it down in the cosmos, it can be lumped into somewhat crude categories: dumb life and smart life. Trees dying from the inside out, yeah, that's a result of the millimeter waves, right? That's a result of the radiation. That's a result of the magnetic field, and that's a result of HAARP, the stratospheric aerosol injection, the whole nine, dude. Yeah. With deep apologies, microbes, plants, yeah, you know what, and that's the thing. The Atlantic brings a good point here. It's like, what type of fucking life are we looking for? We don't even look for microbial life and things like that like we should, or it's like almost like that's all that we expect when we send probes allegedly to these other places. Our understanding of life is fucking, it's off. Consciousness or spirit or dimensional, planes of existence, would probably say that life would be more ethereal than anything, when you really think about it. Life would be more ethereal than it would be physical. There's more going on in the ethereal realms than there is in the physical existence right now. So why are we not looking for ethereal life, right, in places that we go, using instrumentation of electromagnetic, and what is it called, where digital audio recording for electric voice phenomenon, things like that. That would probably be a way more effective way to see if there was something kind of existing between the bands of frequency or in between the dimensions. Now here we go. I told you guys, the Doomsday Glacier back in the Lost Book of Inky. That's how they knew when it was about to be shit hit the fan time. It says, disaster says, study, here's what will happen if it disintegrates. The scary new study has alerted us about the rapid disintegration of one of the biggest glaciers in the world. The glacier in Antarctica is melting at a faster rate than previously expected. Scientists announced this month the new study published in Nature's Geoscience said that the sudden melting event occurred in the course of 6 months in the last, which caused the Thwaites Glacier to retreat as much as 1.3 miles or 2.1 kilometers per year. That's twice the rate that scientists have observed in the past decade. The Thwaites Glacier is also called the Doomsday Glacier. And that's going to send some mega fucking tsunamis when it finally does pop loose. And it's going to be way sooner than what they're saying. Could you get a reading? Yeah, Vernon, the way to get a reading is to just pay either PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Pay your money there. And I will send you a video within 24 hours of that. Put your phone number on there or your email on there, and we'll set up our appointment, bro. So as soon as I'm over with the show, we'll set up, the appointment. That's how I do it. You just text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com, and we'll set your appointment. I do it within 24 hours of payment. So, 400 BCE, Persian engineers created an ice machine in the desert. Yeah, this one's a little, I don't know. Here you go.
This is a yakshul, an ancient Persian refrigerator. Invented around 400 BC, it used a cooling system that kept ice frozen all year round. Yakshuls are found across Iran, in areas where the climate enables the freezing of ice on site in winter, or where ice and snow could be brought from nearby mountain areas. The ice is reported to have been used for the production and preservation of food and drinks in summer, and perhaps occasionally for cooling buildings.
And for those, that's pretty cool. And for those that are interested, the readings are $50 if you want a soul profile. And we can do it on Discord together. It takes about 30-45 minutes. Or I can just send you the personalized video. I'd rather send the personalized video. It's faster usually than setting up an appointment, but it's up to you. Or $100, I do a soul profile where I do a personal tarot reading, as well as I look up the etymology and gematria of your name, your numerology, your life path, and I even look up your personal astrology for the time. But that takes 3 days, so that's totally up to you. But I've been doing the tarot readings, and the Best Damn Fam is $33 a month for you guys for the private shows each week and the Dropbox content and all of that. So I guess I forgot to say that at the beginning of the show. Migrant convoys, New York declares state of emergency over polio found in wastewater samples.
Disaster emergency in New York. Governor Kathy Hochul declaring it just today after health officials detected the polio virus in yet another county's sewage. They say it's a sign the virus continues to spread throughout the state. Authorities say they found a positive sample of polio in Nassau County on Long Island. They previously detected it in wastewater in New York City and 3 nearby counties. Governor Hochul says the order will allow emergency services workers, midwives, and pharmacists to administer the polio vaccine.
Say what? Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that that was going to be the fucking outcome? And can you guys hear that? Let me make sure you guys can
also better equip health officials with tools to curb the spread.
Yeah, you can. Okay.
In a statement.
Yeah. Who could have guessed that the wastewater's fucked up with something, and the answer is here. Let us give you this. Right? Has that not been the answer to like 3 fucking articles tonight? Has it or has it not? 3 different things I've told you about, and the government's response is here. Let's just give you this to overcome it. Don't worry about it. And everybody make sure you're hitting that like, hitting that thumbs up if you're in the chat for me too, guys. That really does help more people to see it and all that. So I would appreciate it. You caught alive. Yeah, this is an early one tonight. Maybe we're looking at CERN. Trees dying from the inside out, creeping in the early shadows of the evening. Yeah, okay. I don't know if I even have any mods in here tonight. Okay, we got Stool Purger. Here, alligators suddenly attacking boats in Texas and no one knows why. I wonder if this has to do with the different energies that are coming in, guys. I'm just keeping it real, right? I think electromagnetics influences our brains in such a fucking way. It's insane. You know, such a way it's insane. And it does it to animals too. You see animals migrating to the wrong places, animals, you know, going into populated areas, right? And animals attacking, you know. And this is something that's also been kind of prophesied to happen as well. You know, different animals attacking.
Now to some more wildlife. People are having unexpected encounters with, this time, alligators.
Yeah, we know they are common in the Houston area, but folks in Sugar Land say some gators are getting more aggressive. At least 2 people say the gators have bitten their boats in the past 2 weeks in Oyster Creek. Now, trappers trying to catch the gators before somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, so they've bitten their boats. Yeah, there you have it. Yes, John, there's a couple of mods. Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. So, but yeah, you know, and I nice to see actually. And whoever that was that asked for a reading, if you didn't understand, you know, just text me or whatever, man. I'll try to help you out. The rice capital of California is now just a wasteland. Look at these terrifying satellite images. It's just a wasteland, right? One side of the valley is faring decidedly better than the other, you know, and it's like, I wonder if they do this shit on purpose, dude. You know, these are supposed to be from the droughts that are taking place and all that, so.
Right, as California continues to reel from the depths of this historic drought, farmers are facing an uncertain future. That's especially the case in the rice fields of the Sacramento Valley. And that's where NBC Bay Area's Joe Rosado Jr. takes us to see the impact.
In the small farm town of Williams, an hour north of Sacramento, time is set to the rice fields.
Virtually all the high-quality sushi rice grown in the United States is grown right here.
In a normal year, 100,000 acres of Colusa County will bear rice. With water so precious, they even named streets after it.
It has never been this dry here.
But for third-generation farmer Donald Bransford, this year there is no water. And there is no rice.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, this is scorched earth. This is an attack on the people. It's agriculture, right? Livestock, your crops, fresh water, fuel, gasoline, energy, electricity. Do you not see what's going on? The air you fucking breathe, the food you eat, the seeds you need to grow said food. They're just trolling us now. They're just trolling us now. I just can't wait for Avengers World Economic Forum. Captain America, New World Order. Say what? Say what? I mean, this is fucking crazy, right? This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Abort. New Shepard failed during the first stage ascent. No crew on board.
And then continue on up to space.
This is a dick rocket, by the way. Blowing up instantly. Oh, shit. Epic fail. That thing looks like a fucking firework is what it looks like. One more time.
Continue on up to space.
Does it continue on up to space? Boom! That motherfucker blowed up, dude. Oh, shit. But, you know, here you go. Health official admits the blank are dying. Say what?
Yes, it does concern us when there are deaths at home. from the few reports that I've been seeing, we're seeing reports of people having an illness for a short period and then sudden deaths, and we've reported about those earlier on. That's been reported elsewhere in Australia, around the world, where it's myocarditis, which I think I've referred to on a previous occasion. But we are certainly keeping a close eye on those, particularly when there are deaths. We investigate those particularly if there's anyone who's died at home.
Yeah, so I can't play much of that. You guys know I'm not allowed to talk about that on the public platforms, but just saying, dude. Fucking crazy, am I right? You know, this is, this is how it is, dude. For real. This is how it is. And it's to the point, too, to where, many people... people should be aware. Yeah, you're over there laughing. Fukushima tsunami that hit Japan and the General Electric nuclear power plant. I mean, yeah, look, Florida, secret surveillance system at the toll roads, tracking you in your fucking car. Florida has a secret surveillance system at the toll roads, tracking you and your car. Say what? Traffic cameras turn into a huge spying program.
Welcome once again to Leto's Law. Here's Steve Leto.
Michigan does not have a lot of toll roads, and in fact, the only actual toll road we have to speak of is our bridges. So if you travel from the Upper Peninsula to the Lower Peninsula or vice versa on the Mackinac Bridge, you pay to get across. There's also tolls to take the bridges to Canada and so on, but generally speaking, toll roads not in Michigan. Now, many other states have got. The interesting thing here is that the USA Today network out of Florida spent 6 months investigating the state's use of warrantless surveillance on toll roads. This is Dan Glowin, wrote this for the Fort Myers News Press, and he says that Florida's secretive toll surveillance program, there are 5 things they found out they think you should know. So these are the...
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? 6 months on that shit, dude. Let's see if we can find these 5 things ourselves here. Pretty crazy. They've been tracking reports of the secret surveillance program for over 6 months. Found a database of collecting vehicle and driver information. Both the SunPass and EasyPass toll networks are doing it. Also, on its face, it's probably a good thing, but it makes it easier to track Amber Alerts, stolen vehicles, etc. But they can request information from the database and more. And that's the problem. Police can request information and then add any vehicle it chooses to the system, whether a crime was committed or not. Legally, there are no boundaries for police information request, and the other more sinister issue is that Florida is mum about the system in general. It doesn't want anything related to its tracking system divulged, so it's completely fucking secret. The tracking system's secret. They won't tell anything about it. And they're using it for that kind of shit. All requests for information to the Florida Department of Transportation were denied. It even justified not saying anything about the tracking in the public records law in the books. But the specific law has never been provided. And multiple attorneys said that this type of law, if it even exists, doesn't apply in this circumstance. So yeah, they're on some straight up bullshit. Cancer rates are up now almost 30%. Obama, his term, upped the amount of radiation in the water supply. That's considered a healthy amount. Yeah. Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? Check this out. Patagonian giants. Patagonia, the religion in southern Argentina or Chile, extended from the Andes to the Atlantic. Many accounts of a legendary race of extremely tall people, first mentioned by Ferdinand Magellan. The gods, man.
Patagonia is a region in southern Argentina and Chile, extending from the Andes to the Atlantic. There are many accounts of a legendary race of extremely tall people that were first mentioned by Ferdinand Magellan and his crew, who claims to have seen them while exploring the coastline of South America in the 1520s. Antonio Pigafetta, a crew member and chronicler of Magellan's expedition, wrote about their encounter, and I quote, "One day we suddenly saw a naked man of giant stature, on the shore of the port, dancing, singing, and throwing dust on his head. The captain, Magellan, sent one of our men to the giant so that he might perform the same actions as a sign of peace. Having done that, the man led the giant to where the captain was waiting. When the giant was in the captain and our presence, he marveled greatly and made signs with one finger raised upward, believing that we had come from the sky. He was so tall that we had reached only to his waist, and he was well proportioned. The captain named the people of this sort Patagoni. Many other accounts of giants in South America followed. In 1579, Sir Francis Drake's ship chaplain Francis Fletcher wrote about encountering very tall Patagonian natives, saying that, and I quote, "Magellan was not altogether deceived in naming them giants, for they generally differ from the common sort of men, both in stature, strength of body, and also in the hideousness of their voice."
In the hideousness of their voice. You know, it kind of does make you wonder, you know, conquistadors and all that, Spanish Inquisition, like, there's been lots of different weird accounts, you know, people believe in that, you know, Quetzalcoatl was supposed to be a giant white dude. I mean, so, you never know, you know, you never know. But I think we're descendants of something anyways, right? We're descendants of the gods one way or another. Summer of extremes in Death Valley, aftermath of Hurricane K, massive flooding and waterfalls.
All right, well, check out this amazing video from Death Valley. It shows a temporary waterfall. This is just south of the Natural Bridge yesterday afternoon. Now, the flooding across Badwater Road was concentrated from Natural Bridge to Badwater Basin because of the flooding, and Badwater Road is completely closed for cleaning.
And see, and this is where it's at too, right? We're having lots and lots of you know, very, very different things that are taking place all over the world as a result of these changes, you know? Creepy and sick, school children in Canada and Australia is being groomed to eat insects. This is fucking weird. I don't know why I put this in here, but I just thought it was weird. 1,000 Australian schools have introduced their canteen snacks containing bugs. Kids are now munching on chips laced with eco-friendly cricket protein made by Circle Harvest. Only a few years ago, we would think it was an April Fool's prank.
Yeah. Adelaide, what do you think of the chips? They're yum. Chips are great, aren't they? And these chips are even better because I think they're better for you. Did you know that? Yeah, that way, you know, Mum and Dad might let you have more chips. Good stuff. Do you like them, Annabelle? Do you like them? Yeah, they're great.
Wow. Yeah, it's like, I don't know why people make a big deal out of this. Humans have been eating shit like that for forever. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But, you know, they're trying to push it as like this big thing of like we're all going to be poor and starving, and that's why they're pushing it. You know, it does seem to appear some type of health thing, you know, or who knows. Maybe it's trendy. Who gives a fuck, right? Mystery of Indian Ocean's gravitational drop is about to be debunked. Puzzled over the large geoid anomalies in the Indian Ocean of Sri Lanka. Deep-seated Earth structure exists. Scientists from the National Center of Polar and Oceanic Research have started to uncover the possible reason behind the enigma. Using a series of seismometers, researchers are taking a peek into the Earth's mantle, 700 kilometers below our crust, to find out what's beneath. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, have different theories. You know, this could be a fucking asteroid impact, you know, for all we know, or there could be underwater structures, there could be all types of things. Could be a fucking giant caldera under there. You know, it goes so deep. For real, take your kids out of school before it's too late. Yeah, total assault from all sides. Yeah, I know, dude. I won't worry about it. But I mean, you know, this is science's, you know, attempt to probably, you know, and it's at the very southern tip of the continent too, so who knows? There may be underground city under there. Who fucking knows? We know that, you know, there's been different rises and falls in the water levels all across the world. That's depressing. Lake Mead water levels over the years, videos and graphs, and you can see Lake Mead, right? How much it's went down over the years. I mean, it's been, and that's something that a lot of people have been watching here recently, and watching the just all the water disappear, you know, and this is geoengineering, weather modification, you know. I'll leave that up to you, you know, why these things are happening and why they're happening at such an astronomical rate, and why nobody seems to notice, and the ones that do believe the dumbest fucking excuses for why it's taking place when it's really very, very obvious, you know. So I'm going to leave it at that. My next videos, I'll be dropping the tarot videos, guys, and I'm going to do a mid-month September astrology report, and I'll do a mid-month collective tarot reading live, and I will be posting for all 12 signs. So if you'd like to book a reading, or you would like to join the Best Damn Fam, or get a soul profile, text 513-393-2396, or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, hit the like, share, comment, subscribe, and you know, support the channel. And I guess I will see you guys next time. You'll have a wonderful evening. Peace.